Super Mario Odyssey has been a long time coming. Without a true 3D sandbox Mario game since Super Mario Sunshine for the Nintendo GameCube, those of us who had been craving a game like this have finally gotten our wish. And though there have been other 3D Mario games, such as the Galaxy games and Super Mario 3D World, and all of those were amazing games, Mario simply feels more at home here. The first thing you'll notice is that Mario moves effortlessly through the game world. His hops, skips, and jumps are so fluid that you'll never feel like a jump is truly out of reach. Nintendo has done a masterful job giving Mario a moveset that allows beginners to have a good time and complete the game with ease. But chaining moves together, experts can pull off some amazing stunts and cover vast distances, providing those that want to learn an advanced skill set the opportunity to do so. The best part of controlling Mario is it is simply fun. Running in circles and jumping just gives the players a sense of joyous freedom. In fact, how effortlessly Mario controls is really put into perspective when playing other 3D games, such as Red Dead Redemption 2, where you feel like the character is walking through ankle-deep mud. I cover controls first, because they are what makes Odyssey so much fun to play. But the sandboxes that Nintendo has built are also large and varied, which makes them exciting to explore. Some of the kingdoms are wildly different from what you'd expect from a Mario game, complete with realistic environments. This includes New Donk City, though, since the game has been out for over a year now, it doesn't seem that strange. However, when Odyssey was first shown to the public, opinions were wildly split as to how or why a cartoonish Mario was running around a semi-realistic metropolis, complete with normal-looking humans. It raises all kinds of canonical questions for those that partake in such endeavors. I just find it humorous to look at, and I suspect Nintendo does as well. The core premise of the game is to collect moons and rescue the princess from the clutches of Bowser and his minions. This is the same story we've seen in playthroughs since time immemorial. One would think that Nintendo may try to change things up on this front, but alas, we will wait and see if the next game does something different. That said, really, what difference does it make? I'd venture to guess that Nintendo would altogether remove any story component from Mario games if they felt like they'd be able to get away with it. Eventually, the shallow nature of what they consider to be the story in a Mario game will need to be revisited, as the modern gamer, I think, expects a little more, even from Mario games. Super Mario Odyssey is almost 2 games in one. Initially, there was a small list of moons to discover in each kingdom, until you, quote, beat the game, unquote. This amount of time represents, I would venture to guess, approximately 1/3 of the total time you'll spend with the game. To beat the game will require hardly any effort for any even somewhat experienced gamer. The real challenge, if one can even call it that, is that once you've defeated Bowser, many more moons in each kingdom will now be available. The end game, then, is to collect these additional moons and get to the real challenge of the game, that being the final few levels meant for hardcore platforming fans. Much like Super Mario 3D World, Nintendo aims to cater to all fans of Mario by making the game easy to beat, but also providing some truly difficult challenges toward the end for those of us who are keen to tackle them. My issue here is that outside of the very final hard level, the challenge really doesn't ramp up in a way that it did for Super Mario 3D World, where there was an entire portion of the map with truly difficult levels. There are only 1 or 2 of those here in Odyssey. Candidly, the final difficult level, the darker side of the moon, took me several dozen tries to beat. I only wish that there were more levels on this scale of difficulty. As for how the game performs on Switch, it looks and sounds great. Docked mode provides a crisp and clean image, while in portable mode, there's an ever so tiny amount of blurriness that you can see. The most important point here, however, is that in both modes the game sticks to a locked 60 frames per second. This is crucial, and Nintendo took the necessary steps in both modes to ensure that performance here is extremely stable. The music in Super Mario Odyssey fluctuates between forgettable to bombastic to catchy and everything in between. Some of the worlds have themes that I would forget after having just played them. For others, music I initially didn't really enjoy, like the Wooded Kingdom, ended up growing on me. I think that, much like Mario Kart 8, the music quality here is highly subjective. Personally, it fits the game nicely, but since I am not a huge fan of horns, my enjoyment of the music may not be the same as many others. Still, it is well done, and Nintendo succeeded in what they were aiming to accomplish. As a game, I think that Super Mario Odyssey represents some of the best features of the Switch. Graphically, it looks great, and its 60 frames per second gameplay easily ensures that it fares nicely when pitted against anything you'd see on Xbox One or PlayStation 4. That said, there are some decisions Nintendo made with the controls that are somewhat baffling. There are moves that are linked with motion controls, which are essentially impossible to pull off when playing in handheld mode. None of them are essential to the completion of the game, but it is still a curious omission that cannot be overlooked. Overall, Super Mario Odyssey is a must-buy game for any Nintendo Switch owner. Yes, it is too easy for most players. Yes, the story is the same old tried-and-true kidnap princess shtick, but it is still a ton of fun to play, and you'll have a smile on your face while you do so. It will last you dozens of hours, possibly more if you're a completionist. The best part about this is that whenever you decide however many moons is enough, you'll have long since passed Super Mario Odyssey being worth your money. And, for however many hundreds of moons you may have yet to collect, they will always be there waiting.